Level 1, negative balance. The number on your screen has a minus sign in front of it. You stare at it like it might disappear if you blink. It doesn't. You overdrafted by $4, just $4. A coffee you forgot was scheduled to charge. The bank doesn't care that it was $4. The bank cares about the math, and the math says you went under. $35, that's the fee. At this level, the bank makes money on your mistakes. Overdraft fees and non-sufficient funds fees are almost pure profit. It costs the bank nothing to let an automated system decline a transaction or let it slide into the negative, but they charge you a premium for the slip. The penalty for being broke is that you become more broke. A $7 subscription processes next, triggering another $35 fee. Now you owe $77 to an institution that just made $70 off a $4 mistake. They make money off your desperation because they know you don't have the leverage to walk away. Level 2, $200. You're not negative anymore. You work 20 hours of overtime to make the account stay positive. The bank notices, but not with a thank you. They notice with a maintenance fee. $12, sometimes $15, quietly withdrawn because your balance is below their $1,500 threshold. You are literally paying the bank to hold the money you barely have. If you apply for a credit card, they offer you a secured one. You have to give them $300 of your own money as collateral so they can lend it back to you and charge you 24% interest for the privilege. They also make money every time you use your debit card. It's called interchange fees. Every time you swipe for groceries, the bank takes 1 to 2% from the merchant. You think the transaction is free, but you are the product paying the toll. At $200, the bank makes money on your stillness. Level 3, $2,000. Something shifts. Your direct deposit hits every 2 weeks, consistent and predictable. The maintenance fee disappears because your behavior now matches a profile they can exploit. The credit card offers arrive, real ones this time, with $2,000 limits and 22% interest. At this level, the bank makes money on the spread through fractional reserve banking. When you deposit your $2,000, the bank doesn't keep it in a vault. They keep almost nothing of it. They lend $1,800 of your money to someone else at 11% interest while paying you 0.01% interest on your savings. They profit off the massive gap between the pennies they pay you to hold your money and the dollars they charge others to borrow it. You aren't just a customer anymore. You are a source of raw funding.
Level 4. $15,000. You log in and see your credit limit has automatically jumped to $9,500. A relationship banker calls you on a Tuesday morning to discuss your financial goals. At $15,000, you are no longer a risk. You are a prime candidate for debt. The bank makes money here by cross-selling your basic debt products. They offer you a car loan at 6.8%. They steer you toward basic investment products like mutual funds with a 1.2% expense ratio. It sounds small, but that fee is taken out of your principal every single year, whether the market goes up or down. They have turned your growing pool of cash into a machine that pays them a cut of your hard work year after year without them taking any of the risk. Level 5, $80,000. You are a preferred client now. David, your dedicated banker, knows your sister lives in Chicago because you mentioned it once. He sends a handwritten birthday card. At this level, the bank makes money on the ultimate debt instrument, the mortgage. They pre-approve you for a $400,000 home before you've even found a property. Over the course of a 30-year mortgage at 6%, you will pay them over $460,000 in interest alone. You bought a house, but the bank bought a 30-year cash flow stream funded by your labor. They also transition you into their proprietary investment portfolios, earning kickbacks and management fees on every dollar you try to save for retirement. Level 6, $500,000. The bank stops being a place you visit. It becomes a service that comes to you. David, your dedicated banker, introduces you to a wealth management colleague who drives to your office with reports in a leather folder. Here, the bank makes money on assets under management fees. They charge a flat 1% annual fee to manage your $500,000. That's $5,000 a year, quietly withdrawn from your account in monthly increments. If the market crashes and your portfolio loses value, they still take their fee. They have successfully decoupled their profits from your investment performance. They make money off your wealth simply because it exists. Level 7, $5 million. Private banking. The rules no longer apply to you. They are negotiated for you. Your private banker handles only a dozen accounts, and yours is one of them. The bank makes money here through alternative investments and structured products. They offer you access to exclusive private equity deals and hedge funds. The bank acts as the gatekeeper, charging a flat 1% to 2% placement fee just to introduce you to the fund, followed by ongoing management fees. They also offer you Lombard loans, letting you borrow against your stock portfolio at low interest rates so you never have to sell your assets. You stay in debt, the bank keeps earning interest on that debt, and your millions remain locked in their ecosystem, generating fees.
Level 8, $50 million. You don't have a banker anymore. You have an institution that organizes itself around not losing you. At this level, the bank doesn't just manage your money. They use your balance sheet. They make money on the velocity of your capital. They underwrite your businesses, handle your private acquisitions, and charge millions in investment banking advisory fees. Your $50 million of liquidity is highly valuable sticky capital that they use to backstop massive commercial loans for other corporations, charging them millions while paying you a fraction. They design bespoke derivative products where they take the spread on both sides of the trade. You are no longer just a source of fees. You are a partner in their global liquidity machine. Somewhere right now, someone has a minus sign in front of their balance. They overdrafted by $4. A coffee they forgot was scheduled to charge. The fee hits within the hour, $35. They stare at the screen, feeling tired, while the system quietly extracts its toll. They don't know yet that the system isn't broken. The system is working exactly the way it was built. The same institution that will one day fly out to ask their opinion on emerging markets is currently charging them for not having enough. You are the same person at every balance. The bank just decides who you are based on what's next to your name. The bank doesn't change at every level. The bank reveals what it always was.